Hey everyone, welcome to this historical explainer. Today we're diving into the life of a literal visionary, the man who built the first Myanmar empire completely from scratch. We're talking about King Anawrahta. If you've ever wondered how on earth fractured, independent little territories get forged into one massive unified state, well, you're absolutely in the right place. So let's jump right in and uncover the blueprint of an ancient empire builder. All right, to really grasp his monumental impact, we have to look at the timeline of the Bagan dynasty. Now, an earlier ruler, King Pienbia, did manage to unite 19 villages, which is great, but King Anawrahta, he took a massive leap forward. Ruling from 1044 to 1077, he didn't just unite a few villages, he founded the entire First Myanmar Empire. This golden era of prosperity lasted over 2 centuries, right up until the Mongol invasion led by Kublai Khan in the 13th century fractured things all over again. So right here on the timeline, King Anawrahta sits exactly at the crucial turning point of ultimate unification. It's important to remember that before his reign, this region was just a deeply fractured collection of small, divided territories. They desperately needed a strong leader, someone who could bring all these disparate groups together under one banner for the very first time in their history. Section 1. The brave young prince, shaping a leader. Let's see what made him the man he was. Born into Bagan royalty, young Anawrahta was educated by monks. This early exposure to monastic life was a huge deal because he absorbed profound wisdom that would later completely shape his ruling philosophy and his masterful strategies for building a nation. And the historical texts make a big point to emphasize his natural bravery. He wasn't just some pampered royal heir waiting in the wings. His immense physical prowess and courage meant he actually possessed the real, actionable qualities of a great leader right from the get-go. Basically, he was a man of action just as much as he was a man of thought. Section 2. The first pillar, economic power and unification. So when Anawrahta finally ascends to the throne, his very first major strategic move wasn't actually military. Surprisingly, it was agricultural. He understood a very basic but crucial truth. Before you can unite a people, you literally have to be able to feed them. Economic stability through farming became his primary engine for developing the nation. And he didn't just sit back and issue decrees from a fancy palace. He was out there, actively directing the physical transformation of the land. The most famous example? He oversaw the construction of this massive, vital network of dams around the Kyaksi area. These irrigation projects were incredible technological leaps for the time, transforming the region into the breadbasket of his new empire. It's actually wild. His engineering was so visionary that parts of this exact same irrigation system kept supporting local agriculture for nearly 1,000 years. Like, wow. You can see how perfectly these domestic priorities cascaded into one another. Step 1, secure the food supply by building dams in Kyaksay. That meant agriculture became the main focus, which then naturally fueled and expanded trade. And suddenly, with a booming economy and a well-fed population, he had the leverage and the resources to pull off his ultimate goal, uniting those divided, small countries under his rule. It's like a giant puzzle, and he placed every piece perfectly. Which brings us to Section 3, the second pillar, a unifying faith. Once the economy was locked down, Anawrahta turned to his second great achievement, actively promoting Buddhism all across his newly expanded realm. He was smart enough to recognize that, yeah, a strong economy stops people from starving, but a shared belief system, that stops a country from tearing itself apart from the inside. So, promoting Buddhism wasn't just some personal spiritual endeavor for the king. It was literally a masterful stroke of statecraft. By fostering this deep sense of shared identity and a common moral framework across all these different communities, he basically used faith as an invisible glue to bind his newly united people together. It gave the incredibly diverse populations of the First Myanmar Empire a common ground to stand on. Moving on to Section 4, a vast and peaceful legacy. All of these comprehensive policies, the agriculture, the trade, the shared faith, they culminated in this incredibly vibrant, bustling reality. The First Myanmar Empire didn't just get big, it became remarkably peaceful and thriving. Trade was secure, culture was flourishing. The safety and prosperity that everyday people enjoyed were the direct, tangible results of his brilliant, multi-layered approach to governing. Seriously, just look at the contrast.
When you compare the divided, fractured mess of a region he inherited to the vast, flourishing, peaceful First Myanmar Empire he left behind at the end of his reign in 1077, his legacy is absolutely undeniable. He took the scattered pieces of a broken region and engineered them into a golden age that, astonishingly, lasted for over 200 years. He was, without a doubt, the ultimate architect of a nation.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quick thought. King Anawrahta used the pillars of economic stability, specifically farming, and shared cultural values to unite a fractured 11th century realm. When we look at our modern world today, with all of its crazy complexities, what do you think are the core pillars that hold our nations together now? Are they really so different from Anawrahta's? Makes you wonder, right? Anyway, thanks so much for exploring history with me today, and keep questioning the foundations of the world around you.